Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 30th. It is 6:24 right now. We got market opening up in about 6 minutes. So I've pretty much have everything lined up here. There's a couple entries which came up this morning. So these are the entries that I had marked up for YM. A couple of them hit. This one over here hit. This one's currently running. I was a little tempted to get into this position here. The only problem was that it was that it was coming up like really close to market open. So, for this specific trade here, I just wasn't really feeling like taking the entry because you can see right here price is pretty much going back and forth. I mean, eventually, yes, this will probably push up and spike, but I don't want to be entering and then holding on to this until market open, of course. So this is the YM trade, which came up at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be looking to take this gold trade around 6:30, it looks like. 6:30 over here. Uh, with the direction of momentum, of course. So I'll be looking to take that. It's gonna be about 5 minutes until that happens. So once that happens, I'll be looking to get into that. Otherwise, we'll see what happens up as price continues to move along. So hey, Karen, morning, morning, Maria, morning, Lila, morning, Daniel, morning, David, morning, everybody. Looks like people are still making their way in. This is the trade that I'm looking to take right here on gold. Currently has an 87.50% win ratio. At a 16 trades, profit factor of 14. Entry is going to happen over here at, yeah, at, wait, no, this isn't the right entry. This entry is going to be at, oh, this is the one from later. So this is going to be at 722. So 722, this is going to be the entry coming up a little later. The first one's going to be right here at 6:30. I'll see. I'll see how it comes up, and if I like the way it looks, I'll possibly take it. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to take this trade here. I decided not to take the 6:30 one because it's right at market open. I just remembered. I don't want to take anything that happens at market open because I don't want to get caught in price manipulation. So the one that I'm actually looking to take is going to be right here at 722. So if you guys are looking to take the original breakout for today is going to be it's going to be a buy. So if you guys want to take the original breakout, it's going to be a buy today. You can see here we have a buy signal. So if you're looking to just take the breakout on open, it is going to be a buy entry. For those of you who are looking to get into that, I'll mark it up for you guys here. I'm not going to take this trade, of course. I'm taking the ones based off my probability. Um, the entry here for, let's see, at 6 o'clock is still running. This thing could easily spike up. So if this goes in the direction of the momentum breakout on open, then it's probably going to spike to the upside, which I think is probably going to happen here. We got market opening up shortly in about 3 minutes. Hey, Sam, morning. So for this strategy over here, this is the one that I was looking to get into. This is the one at 752. 752 for YM. If you guys didn't look at the list, I posted all the lists here on Discord. So on Discord, it has all my possible entries right here. It doesn't show my bold, but I have them bolded out for mine specifically. Let me see if I can maybe put this up over here. Okay. So those are my trades right there for YM. And here are my trades here for gold. So we got the gold trade coming up soon. The YM trade is currently running. Like I said, I don't want to take this because it's going to get manipulated on open. So I decided to sit out of this one. I mean, this could easily spike up, but I'm not really looking to get into it. Of course, we have Jolt's job opening, or yeah, Jolt's job openings at 7 o'clock, I believe, as well. So just something to look out for, some high impact news events. So we got market opening up in about 2 minutes. If you guys are looking to take the momentum breakout on open, it is going to be a buy based off the 10-minute momentum candle. I'll be looking for these possible entries over here a little later. So first entry is going to be right here at 6:30. I'm not going to take this one because it's right at open. I'm going to be looking to get in right here at 7:22. The profitability for that one or the win ratio is currently 87.50%. So basically 14 out of 16 trades won for a 1 to 2. Very high probability there. So that's what I'm going to be looking to take. But we'll see what happens here on open, guys. So market is going to open shortly in about 40 seconds. Again, if you guys are looking to take the momentum breakout here on open, it's going to be a buy. This here is going to align with this current entry. So this buy here actually looks pretty good for a breakout if you guys are looking to take it. Risky, but it's lining up with both of the 10-minute and the 1 minute here. Got market opening up in about 15 seconds. All right, there goes. Price pushes up. The entry right here is running almost to its target. Almost there. Full TP shortly. This needs to get a little bit of a push up higher. It's going to hit a full TP right there for the this trade. There you go, full TP. If you guys took that breakout right there, I identified this right here at 6 o'clock. Entry went back and forth for a bit, but it went straight up. Momentum breakout here on open, also full TP. So back-to-back full TPs right here for the momentum breakout. This is the power of using probability in your advantage, guys. So I had this probability here marked up, gave me a 75% ratio of possibly winning. This right here hit full TP. It was kind of, back and forth right here, but eventually it went to where it was supposed to go, right? So great win right there. If you guys caught that, I gave you this list. So if you guys saw this list, I told you guys this last night, make sure to look at the list here, right here at for YM. So YM Dow Futures, see this 6 o'clock entry. I said against momentum right there. It had a 68.75% win ratio, 1 to 2 risk to reward, 2040, full TP right there. So great work right there. Looks like Talanji caught it. Nice work, Talanji. Lila caught it as well. Nice work, Lila. Solid work, guys. It's like what Sam said, my breakout, it's magic, right? But realistically, it's not magic anymore because we have probabilities here. So this isn't a random trade. We have the probabilities of the trade winning, and the trade right there ran through. We have the gold trade over here running right now. So let me go check the gold real quick. So let's see. So gold was with the direction of momentum. This trade's currently running right now. So this trade is currently running in profit. If you guys are taking this trade right now, the gold trade is currently running. I didn't want to take it because it happened immediately on open, but this trade here is the gold trade that I have marked up. It's right here at 6:30. So 6:30 a.m. with the direction of momentum. Well, win ratio is 81.25%. Risk to reward is 2.4. So 2 points, 2 4 points, which is 2040 ticks. I'm not in this position here, like I mentioned. I didn't want to take it because it was on this opening candle. The problem with that is that, price manipulation happens immediately on open. So I didn't take this trade here. Obviously, it was a good decision. I didn't because it would have gone stopped out. I'm trying to use these probabilities to my advantage here, of course. I don't want to take trades that happen immediately on open because stuff like this will happen, right? Fake outs. So, all right, guys, we'll keep watching there to see what's kind of come up next. We have Joel's job openings at 7 o'clock, something to look out for there. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to update my trades. So you guys can't really see my notepad over here, but I'm pretty much identifying or I'm pretty much marking up all of these entries here that are hitting, and then the ones that aren't hitting, I'm putting line through them so I know. All right, so the next opportunity for entry is going to be at 7 o'clock right here. We got the 7 o'clock window for YM over here. We don't have any trades coming up anytime soon until 7:52, 7:51. So these are pretty much done with. And I'll be looking for the next opportunity here for entries. And, I'm basing everything off the probabilities here. All my entries here are based off data. So, I talked about this yesterday, guys. My algorithm over here, so here's like a quick explanation of like what it does. What this does is it runs my strategy pretty much every single minute. So for 24 hours a day, every single minute, it's going to give me the probabilities here. So these are the best combos right now with the win rates, right? These times. So basically 854 is going to be one of the highest win rate entries right here. It's going to be a 75% win ratio. The one that I'm looking to take right here is going to be at 752. So 752 is going to be this third one right here. This is the third top win ratio. Has a 68.8% win ratio, but the actual win ratio is 75. This number here is not going to be 100% accurate. You have to put the actual data in here to see what the number is looking like, but I'm looking to get into this one right here at 752 for YM. And then for gold, my entry right here is the highest win ratio one is going to be right here around 7 o'clock. So 721, 722, 720, 718. Again, what my algorithm does here is it pretty much runs my strategy around the clock 24 hours. Every single minute it's going to update and it's going to give me what the best time to enter is right here. So with that being said, my next time for entry is going to be right here at 722. So if you look over here on the list, that's going to be number 2 on the list. So I'll be taking against momentum at 722. It has an 81.3% win ratio. I put the actual data in here. It's actually at 87.5% win ratio. So very high win ratio right there of probability. I only take trades that have a probability above 60 to 65. So anything above 60 to 65, I'll likely take it. I'm trading a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So in order for me to be profitable, I just need a 33.33% win ratio. So anything above 33% is going to be profitable. Anything above 60% is basically unicorn status. Like this is stuff that rarely ever comes up. That's why my algorithm here is identifying, okay, what is the perfect time to take entry? And this is where I'm looking to get entry from because my win ratio here is extremely high. Right. If you look at my list here, some of these have like a 62% win ratio, some of them have 80, some of them have 75. I'm looking for the highest one, right? Or one of the highest ones to get into. So I'll be looking to get my entry in here as price continues to move along. Here's the main chart. We're currently in a bullish trend. So you look over here at market structure, it's currently bullish across the board. Um, I'm gonna make 2 main ones here. So this is going to be main GC. It's going to have two charts here because I'm mainly trading gold and YM just so that we don't have to go flipping through. Like I don't have to change the symbol. Okay, perfect. Let this thing load up. Man, I feel like TradingView is throttling my code here because so if you look over here, it's taking forever for my stuff to load up. It's because my code is it's so code heavy. So they're like I'm purposely lagging my code here because I just got too much stuff running. CJ said I'm going to set up my 5 accounts for the gold entry today. Yeah, so the downside between trading gold, so this is the problem with trading gold and trading YM is that I have to switch my contract sizing. It's kind of annoying, but I mean, I kind of just have to do it because the contract sizing is different and the value of each contract endpoint is different. Gold doesn't use points, they use ticks. So I'm using 2 stop loss for TP, which is technically 40 ticks and 20 ticks. So you just add a 0 to it. All right, so we're still a ways to go until we get to the next entry, guys. Next entry again is going to be over here at, well, technically there's going to be more entries here closer. Let me just delete these over here. Or I'll leave this up. There's going to be a couple entries right here at 7 o'clock. I'm not really looking to take these. I'm looking to get the highest probability one, which is going to be down here at 722. So be looking over here. And we'll kind of see what happens as price continues to, move along. Talanji said, even with the spikes and manipulation on the 50-20 on open, still has great stats, right? We definitely use the 1 minute and 10-minute agreeing as strong confluence. Breakout was also an MPSV2. Nice. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, the win ratio is still pretty decent long term for 50-25. Even with the here, I'll run the test for you, Talanji, so that we can see. I don't want to mess up my charts here, so I'm going to open up a different one here. I think I have it. Let me see, I could add it on here actually. So let's see, back test. Oh, it's not even on here because I'm not even, it's not published. Let me see, let's put back test here. So let's see the number. So 50/20 at yeah, 29. This thing is too code heavy. I'm gonna delete this one. I'm gonna use just the regular back test. That the screener is just way too heavy, so I have to use the other one. Yeah, this one doesn't take as much code, or it's not as hard. YM. Okay, so we're looking over here at 629, 1 minute. Or we want to do the 10 minute, right? I don't know. Do you prefer the 10 minute or do you prefer the 1 minute Solange? I can do both, doesn't matter. Um, yeah, for YM. Do you want to do the 10 minute or the 1 minute for momentum? I can change it here. Just we'll do both. So we'll do both and let's see what we got here. There's no entries right now, guys, so don't worry. Not missing out on anything right now. And do you have a specific contract size you'd like to use? I can change the contract size. I mean, I don't know what to use. I'll use 5, 10. I'll just put 10 here with momentum. Let's see. So we'll do this for 30 days, I guess, right? We'll branch it up. Here, let me go back to my charts real quick. I just want to make sure I'm not missing on any entries here. Uh, Closest one's going to be at 751 for YM. And then for gold, closest one's going to be at 701. So I'll come back and take a look at this in a few. I'm not going to take the 701 entry, but I'll be following it. All right, so the win ratio here, this is a 30 win ratio, 50 target. I feel like my settings here are not correct because the win ratio is actually a lot higher last time we did it. Let me just kind of play around with the settings. I swear it was this. Oh, because I have to be on the 10-minute time frame. Duh. That's what made a difference. 10-minute. There we go. I knew I did something wrong there. Yeah. So if you took every trade here, Solange, it's still a 54.55% win ratio. This is if you took every single trade. So for the past 30 days, if you took every single breakout on open, it would be a 54.55% win ratio. It's not like a super great win ratio, but if you're taking this every single day, your goal here is to yield a profit, right? It's to yield a profit. Um, I mean, it's still good, right? This is 2 to 1. If you want to do 90 days, it's even better. So it's a 58% win ratio. If you want to do a whole year, 365 days, it's still very high. It's 49%. Your profitability here is still pretty high. If you're trading one account, that's 93,000. So I mean, if you were to do the math, you have 20 Apex accounts, 93,600 times 20. It's basically 1.8 million for a whole year. This is 365 days. If you took every single breakout and you just took every trade that came up. So the win ratio is still pretty high. I mean, it's good. It's not bad. Long term, it's good, but you have to take every single trade. Like you can't skip trades, right? You can't have any filters. You can't have any bias. You got to take every single trade, and this is the profitability. So yeah, it's good. If this is the only strategy you guys want to take, it's good. It's completely fine. Now let's take a look at gold. Let's see what's up with gold. Now, this is where the big questions arise. Like, is it better on gold? I'm curious because no. So it's not better on gold. As much as we would have liked it to, it's not better. It's still good. It's above so you just want above a 33.33% win ratio, right? Anything above 33% is going to be profitable. but you want to inch higher and higher, right? You want to be closer to the 50, you want to be closer to the 60, you want to be somewhere around there. So gold isn't going to be as profitable. YM is still going to be the superior asset for breakout on open. Yeah. So yeah, it's Longy City. I'm sticking to YM. Yeah, I mean it's good. If this is the only entry you want to take every single day, so be it. This is the past 90 days. So if you do 90 days over here, this is about 3 months, right? So 3 months of trading, 68,350 times 20. I mean, that's some pretty good profit overall if you're trading 20 Apex accounts. The thing with this here is you have to calculate your risk to survive drawdowns, right? Because sometimes you're going to be drawdowns here. Like it looks like the mo most drawdown is about 4 or 5 trades. So you just got to divide your risk by 4 or 5 trades so that you can survive the drawdown and then you can make it right back up. Because you might lose a couple of trades, but once you win, it's going to recoup those losses. So here's the orb real quick. Thanks to Laundry for the heads up. Let me see the orb. The orb was a flop. So this is another reason why I kind of moved away from the orb. The orb here is very, very tricky when it comes down to fake outs and choppiness of market. I mean, this thing was pretty choppy to begin with. If you guys took the orb here, it looks like the orb would have lost. Doesn't matter which orb you took, if you took the retest or if you took the break, the orb here would have lost regardless. So as much as I do like the orb because it has a pending order, I've moved on to basically my algo over here. My algo is the accuracy of the algo is it's you can't compare it to anything really. It's different. So okay, my next intro here for YM is going to be at 751. So I'm just going to mark this up here so I can follow it. So at 751 or 752 actually. So 752, there's an intro right here. It has a 75% win ratio. It's for a 1 to 2 for a 2040 TP stop loss or a stop loss TP, 120 risk reward. This has a 75% probability of it hitting. So for the past 16 trading days, it's had a 75% win ratio. So the probability of this working out is strong. Like I said, whenever I take an entry, I only look for entries that I only look for entries that have above a 60 to, well, basically above a 60. The higher the better, but I'm always looking for something above 60. So the criteria over here, I only mark up the entries that have a high probability. This one here has a highest 75. That's what I'm waiting for. Maria was asking, so let's see. Maria said, which is the best TP stop loss for gold? It depends on the algo. The algo tells me exactly what's the best TP stop loss, right? There's no best because the market's always different, Maria, but a good idea of like what I consider the best is going to be 2.4, 4.8, or 5.10. These are in points. So ticks, you just add a zero to it. So 20, 40, 40, 80, 50, 100. The one we took yesterday was 50, 100. This gives you a little bit more of a cushion, but it also pushes the target out pretty far out. Sam mentioned this yesterday. We went for this 100-point move for gold. And although it was a great move, I mean, that was a huge move to aim for, right? Like this is the trade we took, and it was a huge move. Like we caught a massive amount of points on this trade. I mean, I never trade gold, so I don't know exactly like, what the best TP stop loss is, but from the algo's perspective, it gave me the best criteria here. So for this specific entry at 722, it has a 87.50% win ratio. I'm probably going to use a 40-80 right here, 4.8, because it's a good midpoint. The 30-60 works, 40-80 works, the 50-100 works, but I want to get in and out quick enough to not have to be holding onto the bag for too long. If anything, I might go for the 100, but I'll move my stop loss and profit once it reaches 80. So once it reaches 80, I'll probably move my stop loss and profit, and I'll try to shoot for that full 100, but I don't want to be risking too much on that. So when it gets to this trade right here, I'll be looking for that. Um, but I always put the risk reward right here on the side for whatever is the best that the algo provides, because I want to have the highest probability of it hitting. So we'll see what happens here in a few. Again, the next entry is not coming up for a bit, so I'm kind of just hanging out for a little bit. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. This is a setup over here for the breakout. If you guys, are looking to take the breakout and whatnot, I'm going to take this off because I'm not applying the breakout on this chart. I just wanted to run the back test for Talanji, so I'm going to take this off. But if you guys do want me to run some tests, I mean, I can. You just got to let me know which one you want to see. You could actually leave the back test on this one because this is the actual breakout chart. It's not necessary, but let's bring that down. Okay, so this is the breakout for today, guys. Full TP right here. It actually went up to 100 points for anyone who's, or did it? Almost, not quite. Got 50 points there, not the full 100, but 50 points right there. I mean, who knows? This can still push up higher. But yes, guys, this is the breakout for today. If you guys took the breakout, this was the breakout entry. Nice 50-point hit. Put this over here in the chat for those of you who want to follow the breakout. I mean, there's a couple breakouts here that hit. Also this one right here. So two breakouts for the day. For gold, I don't know, for YM that hit. The breakout on open and then this breakout right here, which was pre-market. Next entry is going to come up in a bit. Visual said 10 contracts on the 10-minute chart can destroy your account, especially if you have a trailing drawdown with Apex. Yes, I agree with Visual 100%. That's why I don't do that one. So although I have the probabilities here, guys, this is why I don't like taking the trade at 6 o'clock, right? Because like what Visual said, like when the volatility strikes at 6:30, this can destroy your account very, very quickly and very easily because price can push up in profit and then come right back down. Like if price was to reach close to target and then came back down to stop me out, this would have destroyed my trailing drawdown. That's why for me, I try to take it mid-session or like somewhere far away from open and somewhere far away from news because I don't want to get caught in the volatility spikes. Yeah, so that's one thing to look out for, Talanji. That's why I kind of moved away from the higher time frames. I want to know exactly what's happening on the lower time frames. And this is why I'm trying to keep a tighter risk to reward, like especially for gold, because if I'm doing a 50-10 or a 5-10, it's good. But the problem is if our entry from yesterday, let me go back to our entry. So this is where this could have destroyed my account. Not necessarily destroyed completely, but this could have done some damage to my account. Is if we reached the 100 points or we got close to it, like for example here. See this I didn't think about this, but see how price came up right here? If this thing came down and stopped me out, instead of me losing 50 points, I would have lost like over 100 points on the account because of the trailing drawdown rule. So it's not good with Apex. You want to keep your TP stop loss as tight as possible. You either want to get stopped out early or you want to pull out early for profit. Not early, but you want to pull out early enough to not have it eat into your drawdown. So you guys got to keep that in mind when you guys are taking trades with wide TP stop loss. It doesn't work well with Apex. If you want to do that, use Tradeify or use Perdia. Don't use it with Apex because that trailing drawdown is going to really screw you unless you're funded already and you have a cushion there. If you have that, then that's fine. It's like a live account. But all right, guys, still looking for the entry or not looking for the entry. I'm just waiting for the entry here. We got the first setup so here coming up on gold at 701. I'm not taking this trade, but this first setup right here is going to be at 701. It's going to be right after the high impact news event. Guys, we have Jolt's job openings right here in Jolt's job quits. It's high impact news event at 7 o'clock. So you might want to be careful taking that entry. This is another reason why I decided not to take the 7 o'clock entry. The win ratio is decent. It's not great. 62.50% win ratio, but it's right after news. So that's why I'm not looking to take that one there specifically. I don't want to get caught in the fake outs. I don't want to get caught in the spikes. Yeah, Barack said Washington following, especially the dynamic stop levels based on where the setup appears, golden. Yeah, exactly, Barack. It's pretty solid. And Solange said, "Oh yeah, I remember the 60/30 was better, but the 40/20 what 80/40 wasn't." Yeah, that's why here I have different setups. So like all of the risk rewards are going to be set up right here. Like you can see at the 701, this is going to be a 20/40. At 718, it's going to be 40/80. 718 is going to be 50/100. These are all the setups with all the win ratios for probability and the times for entry. So super useful here. I'll be looking to see, as price continues to move along. We have Jolt shove openings at 7 o'clock, like I mentioned. Haven't taken any trades today so far on my accounts. There are a couple of trades that did come up. So we had a couple of pre-market trades which came up for gold over here. So this trade which came up at 420. If you look over here on the Discord, I pretty much put that trade out right here. So if you look over here at gold, see the 420 trade right here? I already called this out. I posted this last night at 10 p.m. So at 4:20 a.m. this morning, I said, trade against momentum. It was a 68.75% win ratio for a 1 to 2, 20/40. That was a trade right here, right? What time did the trade come up? 4:20, exactly what I called out right here. 68% win ratio, full TP. The next one was right here, right? This one came up at 5:44. So guys, just pay attention to the Discord. I'm putting literally all these entries here. 544. This is the one I wanted to take. If you guys remember, I mentioned this over the weekend. The only problem is that it happened, a little early and then too close to market open. So right there, we had the entry. I called out this trade right here, 544, right? Exactly. With momentum, 62.50% win ratio, 1 to 2, risk reward for a 20/40. Trade came up right there, full TP. I mean, you could have probably held this on a little longer to 100 if you wanted to. But yeah, so you guys can see here, I'm calling out these trades like hours before, guys. My algorithm here is pretty much giving me the exact time for entry, the exact risk, the exact win ratio, the probabilities. The thing is that you could take a lot of these trades because they're for a 1 to 2. You can lose a lot of these trades, but in the long run, you're going to make profit because a lot of these trades mostly hit. So you got to remember the statistics here show you this is just statistics, right? It's not going to give you the exact, it's not going to tell you, oh, this is for sure going to win because there's no way to know for sure, right? I give you a probability here and you take that probability and you take the trade. Like I can have an 87% win ratio. It doesn't mean it's going to hit, but the odds of it hitting are very likely. So you're basing your entries here based off the data. Well, I'm basing the entries off the data. The thing with this is that, this doesn't take into account price action. This doesn't take into account indicators or none of that stuff. The catalyst is my momentum here, but this is all based off price data. So for the past 16 days, we've had entries here which have hit. So for example, the entry that I'm trying to take right here at 722, this shows me that for the past 16 trading days, basically 2 weeks or 3 weeks, there's been momentum and direction at this time, and it hits 87.50% of the time, right? This is how many times it moves in the proper direction. So this is like a legitimate, like, a lot of people throw around the term algo, right? Algos there's different types of algos out there. There's algos which are like indicators. There's algos which pretty much comb through the data. So what I have here for this algo is it combs through the data every single minute. So as soon as this candle here closes, it's going to comb through the data. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me the best possible entry time with the best possible win rate, right? So you'll see every time a minute passes, this screener here is going to change a little bit. And you guys can see my entry that I'm looking to take right here at 622, right? Or sorry, 722. It's still number 2 on the list. So my entry here is still valid. And what I have these settings set up to is the settings for this specific time. So I have this right here. It's only calculating the algo between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock because that's the only time I'm trading. I can set this all day, but I don't care about all day, right? I just care about what's happening right now because I'm trading between this period. Rev is asking, are they based off Pacific time? No. So, well, this is based off Pacific time right here, but these times right here are based off whatever is TradingView's centralized time, which I think for gold it's Eastern, and then for YM it's Central. I don't know why it does that, but that's just what TradingView has it set to. It's the default time that it sets to. It doesn't matter what time zone I change it to. Um, but I'll put the times here in Pacific because that's my time zone. Sam said you Oracle, God speaking to you. I know it's crazy. Like, it was like I don't know. I felt like like I had like an epiphany over the weekend. Like over the weekend, I was like, oh, this would be cool if I could back test the strategy. And then I was back testing it every single candle. So what I was doing this by hand before I created this screener. Like every minute, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go and change this. So for example, I have the settings right here at 1022. I was like, okay, I'll do this at 1022. I'll do 1023. I'll do 1024. I was on my chart for like hours. I was on here for like 8, 10 hours and I was getting tired. I was like, there's no way I could do this every single day. It's gonna take forever. So I created this screener here to pretty much do it for me. So my algo here pretty much runs the data around the clock. Like I could put it, like at night I run it and I see what's the best times. That's how I came up with this list here. Because at night I run it through the hour. Every single hour I look for the best possible entries and then I send them here. I would say, guys, take advantage of this because I'm probably not going to do this forever. It takes me a while to do this. I'll probably post it in the premium group, but I'm not going to post it in the public chat. Like this, it's crazy. I'm giving you guys literally the exact entries, and you guys can take advantage of them. Whichever one you decide to take. It's it is it's an eye opener. It's crazy because the thing is, like like I mentioned, all of these my strategy that's getting tested, it's based off the data. There's no price action, there's no support and resistance, there's no patterns, there's nothing, none of that. It just identifies where price is moving at an exact time, and it's been repeating for, the past 2, 3 weeks. So, all right, the first entry right here is going to come up around 7:01. This is Jolt's job openings. So we have Jolt's job openings coming up right here. I will mark up this news candle. Not that it matters to me, like I said, I'm basing my trades off the data. I don't really care what's happening with the news. It's just that there's a possibility of manipulation because of the news. And Sam said Trump is also speaking as well. Let me see. All right, so we got Trump talking today. Let's go to here to Forex Factory. Thanks, Sam, for the heads up. We got Trump speaking at 8 o'clock. Perfect. I'm done trading by then. There's more trades over here after 8 o'clock, but I'm not going to take it because obviously Trump's going to speak. Okay, guys, here's the first entry. First entry right here at gold. This is at 7:01. It was against. So because we had a sell signal here, you would technically take the buy. Or not yet. You gotta wait for this candle here to close. Once the candle closes, then you would take the buy. Not in this position here, but I'll follow it for you guys. I'm looking to get in right here at 7:22, a little later. Okay, so back to YM. So for YM, my entry doesn't come up until 7:51, so I'll be chill until then. I probably won't take this one because Trump's speaking at 8. If you guys do want to take it, I mean, feel free. Okay, here's the entry right here, guys. It is currently running right now. This is the gold entry that I have marked up right here at 7:01. I was gonna take it, but I obviously I decided not to because there's news right there, high impact. The Jolt's job openings data, let's see what it was. It was mixed. So high impact was positive, Jolt's job quits was negative, CB consumer confidence was negative. So a mixed news event right there. Again, I don't take trades at news because price can get manipulated there. But this is the setup that would have happened at 7:01. The win rate wasn't even that high. There was 62.5. I want something higher like this, 87.50. So not in this position. I'm just marking it up to follow. Um, Main reason why I would have not have taken this was because of the news, right? And you can see here how price is starting to get manipulated a little bit. It's kind of bouncing back and forth. I mean, this can easily spike right back up, right? This can consolidate, all of a sudden, shoot straight to target. That's what tends to happen a lot of the times. But you can see a lot of people are reacting to the news right now, so I'm not messing with it. We'll follow it, but not looking to get into here for the obvious reasons. See, overall trend right now is currently bullish. It's bullish against the pretty much all across market structure on YM. Let's take a look at gold real quick. Same with gold. Gold is very bullish right here. Market structure is also bullish across the board. That gold trade's pushing. If you guys wanted to get into this, the entry was at 38.53.3. It's currently pushing up right now as we speak. So we will follow this here. Obviously, I would like this to hit. I wouldn't fade my own analysis. You guys can see all my trades here are data driven. See, no price action. I didn't care about whether there was a support here. I didn't care about if there's a resistance here. Even though there is, like you can see, there's a support right here and there's a resistance right here. It's currently in a range, but I don't care about that stuff, right? I'm going directly based off the data. And Sam here was also in a buy, so this works out in his favor. Looks like it's about to hit target right there, 40 points almost. It's on its way up. This again, this strategy right here had a 62.50% win ratio. This is a good probability right there. Look at that. Boom. Full TP. Fuck yeah. Even though I didn't take the trade, I'm glad that it hit. It shows you my algorithm is crazy, guys. You see how accurate this is? I didn't look at price action. I didn't look at nothing. I didn't care about whatever was going on around the world. I didn't care about any of this. I went off this trade here based off my algorithm, right? My algorithm told me 701 entry. So, this takes pretty much this takes away the the psychological aspect, right? Because the problem with trading is that a lot of people they second guess their trades. Like for example, here, if you would have taken this or if you would have, you looked over here and you're like, oh, there's a resistance, you probably would have skipped this trade right here, right? Because you're like, oh, price gonna bounce off the resistance. Nope, it went right through it because we have the data here. So spot on. Every entry here is spot on. Literally, like there was no drawdown on this one that happened over here and this one over here. A lot of entries right here, all full TPs, little to no drawdown. Breakout for this morning, full TP right there, no drawdown. YM over here, two full TPs right there, also no drawdown. Or a little bit. So this one, because this was, obviously on to market open, but this one over here, no drawdown at all. So again, guys, I'm basing all my entries here based off the data. I don't care about what's happening with price action, supply and demand, all that stuff. ICT, I don't care about that stuff. All I care about is what the data is telling me, showing me that this is, the probability and the uh the direction of trade. So it looks like Ryan over here, nice work, Ryan. Made about 963. Great work, Ryan. Amazing. Let's see if I can. So here's Ryan's profits right there. Nice work, Ryan. He got that trade at 701. He locked in 963 right there. Great work, Ryan. Amazing. Love to see it, guys. Love to see you guys profiting here. Even though I didn't take the trade there, I like to see that you guys took it and locked in profit. Reason why I didn't take it was because of the Jolt's job openings news, but a lot of great wins so far today. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Ryan said he took two. Rashida said, what did I miss? A lot actually. Rashida, there's a lot of entries here that came up. It's all good though. I'm trusting that there's gonna be more entries that are gonna come up. So I mean, you missed on the pre moves and then the opening moves and then the mid moves here, but my specific entry I'm looking for right here at 722. That's what I'm trying to get in at. Trying to get in right there. Next entry here for YM's at 751. The problem with this here is that Trump's going to speak at 8, so kind of tricky because you're going to be cutting it close to that 8 o'clock mark. So like I mentioned earlier, guys, this you can go for 100 points, right? But if you want a bookie where the algo is telling me where it's like perfect exit, it's going to be 40 points right there. You can always just trail your account if you wanted to. The next entry is going to be at 718 right here. Talanji said, literally $1 million bot. The thing is, this bot's just getting better, so it's learning, right? Um, like I mentioned, my screener here, my algo, it's basically identifying like every minute it's going to update. It's going to tell me, okay, this is a better entry, this is a better entry, this is a better entry, etc. And Lila over here too. So great profit over here, Lila. Lila said, King Sean just achieved my fifth account. Thank you so much. You are the trading genius. Lila over here locked in 1,110. Amazing work, Lila. Great work. So I think what I might do, Um, Here's Lila's profit. She locked in 1,010, 1,110. Great work, Lila. Great work, Ryan, and great work, Lila, both on locking those profits. Also, to those of you who took the breakout this morning, great work to you guys as well. So what I might do in the future is I might just lower my contract size and take more entries. Ideally, I think that might be the case. Um, I just have to calculate what my contract size is going to be because, it's different risk reward, and then I have to make all these changes and adjustments. It's super annoying when I have to change all the contract sizes for like 20 accounts. So I got to figure out a system where I can change it. Or what I might do is I might even have to buy a couple more laptops just for the specific, the different time. I might just have one just for gold and then one just for YM. I have two laptops already, so I mean, I might be set. I just have to set that up. All right, so the gold breakout over here, or not the gold breakout, the momentum breakout actually hit 100 points right there. You're right, Solange. Solid work right there. Crazy. So 100 points right there for breakout on open. Man, thing's massive. Yes, this is actually 100 points. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy that like now I'm following this stuff off the data because the data here is crazy accurate. CJ said, Lila, you're definitely on your way to a gated community with all those wins. Yeah, no more Section 8. Lila, leveling up. All right, so guys, next entry is going to be over here at 718. Singh is asking, have you ever automated? Yeah, I have, but I prefer to be discretionary. Because the thing is, like, like I mentioned, there's going to be some sort of discretion here. Like, for example, the 701 entry, that was at news. I don't want to take any trades that have like that have manipulation or possibility of increased volatility because there's room for slippage if you trade during those types of markets. So I don't like trading on market open. I don't like trading pre-market high impact news. I don't like trading mid high impact news because those like if price spikes 100 points, that could be your account right there. Thing is, I'm not trading prop accounts. I'm trading real account, like real money. So my personal account is real money. So if I spike that and I lose like a couple thousand bucks, that's real money that I'm losing. It's not like blowing a prop account. It's like I'm throwing away money. So for me, I have to be somewhat discretionary with the entries. At some point, yes, I may automate it and then kind of have it set up in a way where it avoids, high impact news events, market open, certain times like when Trump's speaking. But as of now, I'm fine with it being discretionary because I'm only trading two assets. I try to trade four assets. So I was going to look at NQ here, but the problem with NQ is that, I mean, the obvious reasons, right? Here, I'm going to go and I'm going to put this over here real quick. Let me see what so 800 to 11. I'll just put the settings here so that we can see what are the best trades. I forgot what TP stop loss I use for 50, 25. I'll just put this here. So for those of you who are trading NQ, you can see what are going to be like your best opportunities for entry for the day if you guys want to trade these assets. I think following too many assets is going to be too difficult. It's a lot of work to go between four charts. So I think in the future I might hire a team. Or, like I mentioned, we talked about this in the past, guys. I thought about starting my own prop firm. Um, I mean, th this is a real possibility now because if I do start my own prop firm, like a legit prop firm, not like Apex, like a prop firm where you guys trade my money, basically I'll have teams. I'll have a team which only looks at NQ. They take all the high probability trades for NQ. I have a team that looks at only ES and they take all the high probability trades for ES. And same with like YM and gold, right? The thing with this is that this doesn't require a lot of thinking, right? This doesn't require any thinking really. The crazy thing with this is that it gives you the actual numbers and then it tells you if you trade with or against momentum. So um, in the future, this is because I already have the hedge fund running. So I have my own hedge fund running. In the future, once I get more investors in the hedge fund and then I convert it to so right now I'm currently a managed futures hedge fund. It's like an account copier type CTA. Like I'm basically going to be registered as a commodity trading advisor. But the next level for that's going to be CPO, which is it's a commodity pool operator, which means I get investors, they put a big money into a big account, and then we apply different strategies across multi-asset. So it's I mean, this could be pretty big because I'm only trading gold and YM, but once I start adding other assets to this algo, like NQ, I mean NQ is here, it's just I don't really use it. See, the problem with NQ, you can see the warning right here. It says the script takes too long to execute. Time limit is 40 seconds. So I can't really set the time for that far out. I'm gonna have to tighten this a little bit. The problem with NQ is there's just too many candles. Same with ES. I don't think I can run the data that far out. All right, well, back to the charts over here. Again, my entry's not coming until 7:52, so I got some time here. Same with this one over here on gold, 7:22. The next opportunity is going to be here at 7:18. I'm not looking to get into that one yet. I mean, I could possibly get into it. If it looks good, I'll look into it. But I'm not really looking to get into it right now. My target right now is going to be it's gonna be a little bit tighter. I just realized I put the wrong target here. It's 40.80, not 20.40. Damn. Okay, one second, guys. I got to do this math real quick. I just realized that I did this wrong. Uh, Let me do the math real quick. I just need to figure out what my risk is on this. So for example, if I'm gonna take a sell here, yeah, because I did the risk based off 2040. I did the math wrong. Not taking 9 units. Okay, so I think I got to keep it at, I'll keep it at 1 unit. Okay, I got to make my adjustments over here real quick. The risk is, so this, I might have to switch down to I might have to switch down to the micro because the mini is too expensive for me, unfortunately. Fuck, I gotta change all my things here. 750. See, this is what I hate about when I trade different assets. I have to I gotta calculate this stuff. That's too much. 16. I'll do 4 units from a bigger account. I'm just calculating the risk here for a lot of these trade fly. Okay. All right, it's a good thing that I realized that my calculations were wrong because otherwise my risk would be extremely high. Okay, cool. That's fine. I just need to get the numbers there for gold. All right, if you guys are looking to take this gold trade here, it's at 718. It's going to be against. It has a 62.50% win ratio. If you want to go higher, you can do a 50, a 510, 50, 100. It's going to have a 75% win ratio here. You probably want to go for the bigger move. If you want to go for the smaller one, I mean, feel free. But bigger move right there is going to be at once this candle closes. So once this candle closes, it's going to be a sell entry right here for gold. Rashida said, just so you know, the fees on MGC is a lot. I used 5 contracts yesterday, made 300, but only got 130. Damn, that's crazy, Rashida. Okay, well, that's good to know. Thanks for letting me know so I could I could prepare for that hit. All right, guys, if you're looking to take this trade right here for gold, this is one at 718. It has a 62.50 or sorry, 75% win ratio for a 1 to 2 risk to reward. If you want to do wider, you can do 150. Or if you want to do tighter, you can do 20. You can do 40/80. We'll follow here. I'm not getting into this position. I'm waiting for the one later. Has a higher win ratio down here at 722. So I'm looking to get in a little later. If you guys are just joining in, a lot of entries here which came up so far. Gold pretty much hit right here, 40 points, no drawdown. Gold hit for 100 points here, no drawdown. This one over here hit as well, 40 points, little to no drawdown. There's a current trade right now running. This is the 718 trade. It has a 75% win ratio, obviously not 100%, but very high. Risk reward is 50, 100, 1 to 2. I'm not in this one. I'm looking for this later entry over here at 722. So I'm not getting in yet. It's coming up in a couple minutes though, so I will be waiting for it here. Yeah, no, definitely Lila. If you guys have heard Lila's story, you guys probably haven't heard Lila's story, but Lila's story is pretty crazy. She has 10 adopted kids and she's trying to put all 10 kids through college. So she is grinding out this trading to make it happen. So huge props to Lila for doing that. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's God's work. All right, so looking at this right here, guys, the trade is currently running in profit. Again, I'm looking at the 722 entry right here. I'm going to be using a 40/80 on this one. I mean, if you want to get in earlier, you probably could. Got another minute. Okay, so this is going to be tricky because if the sell signal here closes, it's actually going to be a buy. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm hoping that the sell signal doesn't come because if the sell signal doesn't come, this is going to align with the previous entry and it's going to continue dropping lower, right? All right, so it is going to be a sell for sure. So I'll be watching for this here. I got to get the exact price. Zoom in a little bit. This candle's going to close in about 40 seconds. I'm going to put a pending order. I'm not going to put anything too crazy. I'll be putting a pending order, so I'm not going to get in right away. I just got to get the exact price though. And I got to be a little quick. All right, the entry is at, what are the coordinates? It is at 3877. I'm not in the position yet. I'm going to wait for it. I don't think I'll be able to get into this one right now because of it being so high. See if I can put my pending order there.
Order submitted. Or
Okay, so let's
order
see.
filled.
In the position, I got in a little higher at 70. Wait, what? I hate when it does this. Can't really see it too well on my chart. Let me see if I could. So my entry was a little bit higher because I got in a little later. So it's like a little bit over here. If this stops me out, it's fine. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be looking at the next entry too. It's just the okay, so I got in at put the numbers here. 3877.7. So I got in a little higher because price was already in the negative. So I'll be following it right here. See if this here comes back down. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. You know, like I said, I'm taking calculated risk, so I could take multiple entries here. So if this one doesn't work out, I'll look
Order
to
filled.
get into the
Order
next one.
filled.
So the trades are still filling over here across my accounts. I use a penny order, so I don't get in right away. Entry happened right here, and I'll be looking for the next one. Or no, I'm still in it. So I'm still in the position right now. We'll see if this here comes back down. If this one doesn't work out, the next entry is going to happen at what else has a high win ratio? Actually, I'm going to be moving back down to YM. The next YM entry is going to be at 752. So the gold trade's still running. I got in later, like I mentioned, because of the retracement, and it is still running right now. So I'm following right here. We are back in profit right here. I'm looking for this here to come back down. There's other entries here which are lining up. So we got one over here at the next one's gonna be at 726. So possibly on the next one, we're gonna have another criteria here for price to push down further. All right, I'm in the position right here. My target is at 3069.7. So we have another one right here that's starting to line up. All these trades are still running. It just depends on what your criteria was for the entry. All right, so I'm hoping this, well, I mean, this is gonna be fine. So the 726 entry over here is also gonna be a sell. So we basically have three trades here stacked up for sells. I just need volatility to push this down a little lower. There we go. Price is coming down a little bit. Target right here is going to be at 80. I might want to go down for the full 100. I'll see. So I'm going to put a line here so I know where the 80's at. And then I'm going to look for maybe 100. If this is the case, I'll just drop down my target a little bit lower. I'll manually follow it down. All right, so there's an 80-point target, and then the 100-point target is going to be down here. Okay, at this point, now I would like to see a sell signal come up, right? Because if you look over here at the later entries, so the 726 is against, it would be a sell entry. The 732 right here is going to be with. So I want a sell signal to come up. So by the time it reaches 736 over here, it's going to be in the direction of momentum. So we're looking for this reversal back to the downside. Price pushed up, overextended. It's now pushing down into profit. I could base this one off the following entry, which is, let's see, 722. I just need to adjust this a little bit. 722, 10.5. There we go. Halfway to profit right now, guys. So I'm going to be following this, and then if this again reaches a certain point, I'm going to make my adjustments here to go for the full 100. So the full 100 is going to be 386967. 3967. All right, I'm moving my target down a little lower, and I'm going to move my stop loss in profit. Okay, I'm going for this full move right here, guys. Going for the full 100. I'm going to keep moving it down lower as it reaches This right here, I'll move my stop loss and profit to guarantee the 80 points. But I'm going to try to reach for that 100 right there. It's looking good because the next entries over here line up for a sell. So I'll keep watching here. The 100 points is just kind of far out, but I'm going to be looking for this to push down further. I adjusted my target down a little further to 100 points. And my stop loss is in profit right here. So either way, I'm going to make profit on this trade. I've pretty much guaranteed profits right here, but I'm also going to be aiming for a little bit of a further push. I'm currently in profit about 1,872 on majority of my or some of my accounts down here per account. And I'll be looking for this to push down further. I'm just following the algo here. The algo is telling me price is going to continue dropping. The next push down is going to happen right here at 32. So we got a couple minutes. Just manually adjusting my position as we drop down lower. I'm in profit pretty good right now across the accounts. Okay. I'm gonna let it breathe. Not gonna mess with it. If it stops me out in profit, that's fine. But I'm gonna let the trade breathe. Got enough space here, so I need to inch out a little further the next couple minutes. 7:30 right now. 7:32 is where I'm expecting the push down further. It might stop me out in profit, but it's fine. My stop loss in profit is at 36.76. It's probably gonna stop me out, which I'm fine with. Okay, I got out in profit, guys. It's okay. I'll take that for what it is. Let me
stop
close out.
filled.
Stop filled in profit. Yeah, there's just there's too many moving pieces here where I couldn't really hang on to it like as much as I would have wanted to. But it's fine. I'll take my trade right there. If anything, I can jump right back in if I want to right here at 7:32. This is probably going to hit. It's just there was too many moving pieces. You guys can see how many entries were coming up right here. Like there's just too much going on. So what I did here is I pretty much protected my position because my original target was 80, but I wanted to go for the 100. But then I moved my stop loss and profit in case it does turn around this way, which it did a little bit. You know, this here might push up a little bit, and then eventually right here at 7:32, it may come down further. So I have an opportunity to jump back in if I want to, but I have to think about it as we get closer to that time. So all these trades are still based off the initial entry that happened right here. The first opportunity to get in was at 718. What I'm thinking about moving forward, guys, this is one thing that I might be able to do. I might be able to get in with a smaller, because you can see how there's a lot of opportunities here. I might be able to scale in. So maybe get in for one contract, the next one comes in, get in for another contract, another one comes in, get in for another contract until I reach that full move down. It's another way of of this kind of playing through. So I'm out in profit right there, guys. Again, I'm going to keep following it here as price moves along. Here's where it's going to get a little tricky. Or actually, no, it's not going to get tricky because we're already at the 632 candle. 632 is going to be another sell opportunity right here. So basically three entries, and this is going to be at a 3060 right here. So I'll put this at 30 or 6030. So there's another opportunity here. I'm going to stay out of this one, guys. I don't like how it's been kind of chopping around for a while. So I'm not going to mess with this one here, but there is another opportunity to get in right here at 732. You know, I don't like this chop. Usually I like these trades to just hit right away or kind of go in the direction smoothly. But this here is starting to chop a little bit. All right, so I will take a screenshot of my accounts here. Um, I don't know what happened with the other accounts. I think the margin might be too high for gold. So I don't think I'm able to take gold trades on certain prop accounts. But I mean, I'll see. Okay, here's the entry, guys. Trade's currently running right now. So we basically got three trades running alongside here. Again, the original target's still down here. I'm still expecting price to come down here, but I already got stopped out in profit. Yeah, Sam said good job on profit, guys. It did work. Yeah, definitely. And you know, this is probably going to reach the full target eventually. It's just there was too many opportunities right here. So kind of depending on where you're at, it could have hit, could have not hit, but it hasn't hit stop loss at all. So it's still currently running. So yeah, Sam said CB consumer confidence was negative. That's why it's not selling. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So let's see. Pipit is asking late to the party. Anyone know what the symbol is for gold futures on Tradeovate? I believe it is. I could look it up for you. It is GCZ 2025, or it's GCG, whatever 2025 would be. Pivot. You're on the December contract. All right, so the trade is still making its way down. Here, I'll take a screenshot of my profits real quick, show you guys what I locked in. I mean, profit's profit. I can't complain, but I did pretty decent. Did pretty decent. All right, here are my profits on that trade there. I was finally able to get the copier to work. Unfortunately, it wasn't all the accounts, but it's okay. I'll take it as is. Um, yeah, I think I might have to go down to the micro because the um the mini is just it's just too expensive for certain accounts. It can't handle the drawdown, which is unfortunate. Okay, so here are my profits. Pretty good profits. I mean, it could have been better. I was in profit like almost 2,000 on these accounts right here. I should have just pulled out, but it's okay. I got to stick to the strategy. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Can't complain, right? How can I complain about being heavily in profit for the week so far? Let me just drop this down a little bit. There we go. So here are my profits from this trade that I took. My stop loss was moved in profit, but I'm okay with it. So these accounts right here, these were in profit almost like over 2,000 per account. These were in profit like well over 500 because I was like we're more than halfway to TP. But because I got stopped out in profit right there, it was very minimal. But I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm happy with what I got so far. So yeah, those are my profits right there. I'm still looking to take an entry here. I got to think about what I'm going to do next. So I think I'm going to go back to YM here. And my next entry is going to be right here. So now I got to make some adjustments to go back to YM. So let me give me 1 second, and I got to make some changes here again. Man, I hate scrambling like this, but gotta do what I gotta do. So the highest win ratio right here is going to be at 750. Let's see. 752, 2040. Okay, 75% win ratio. I got to adjust this back to five contracts, 2040. I got to adjust all of my other accounts here back to, man, I wish there was a faster way. I'm going to talk to the guy from Flowbots. Yeah, it's crazy. I've actually gotten pretty close to the guy at Flowbots. I didn't realize that the guy who created Flowbots, the copier, he's from Brazil. So I'm helping him with his immigration right now to come to the US. I'm gonna ask him, like, bro, I'm helping with your immigration. Come here and and uh and make some adjustments to this Flowbots app because I wish there was like profiles, right? I mean, I talked about this with a couple people. Uh yeah, basically the guy who owns Flowbots, the company, he's from Brazil and he basically asked me if I can write a letter for him to come to the US. And I did it for him. So I'm gonna ask him if he can do, yeah, because he knows I'm an attorney, so I have background in this stuff, which I can help him with. I'm asking him to set up profiles so I don't have to, like, I can set up a gold profile and then set up a YM profile because I hate going through here and doing this hand like by hand. It's like such a freaking headache. So much work to just go through here and like, okay, change every contract size and then also change the asset. Yeah, it's gonna make sure everything's good. YM, that's good. Let me go to my chart here, make sure this is YM. Okay, go over here to my execution chart. Make sure this is YM. Change this to, what is that, 4020? Okay, I think I'm good. YM, YM, YM. Okay. All right, we are good to go. Hey, Chris at Sean, what's the instrument for gold? Sorry, Chris, I just saw your messages right now. Um, Chris said, yeah, it's GC 12, let me see what it is on mine. It is GC December 2025. That's what I have on NinjaTrader. So similar to yours, it's the same thing. GC 1225. It's just mine spelled out. Mine is GC December 25. And the reason why I didn't enter before is because I needed to wait to see when the candle closed, Chris. So for the entry here that I took on gold, I had to wait for the candle to close. So my entry over here was at 722, right? I had to wait for the candle to close to know exactly the price of entry. That's why I had to wait until after. I had to wait and then I had to that's why I marked up the line right here. So I was like, okay, entry is right there. But what happened is price already retraced back. So I was like, okay, I'll get in for a discount. So I actually got in a little bit higher. Just a little bit by a few points. Yeah, no problem, Chris. All right, so looking at gold, guys, gold is still running in profit. I mean, this thing's taking forever. I'm actually glad that we pulled out in profit because not that I don't think it's going to work, but this thing's taking forever. It is taking forever for it. So the original intro here is still technically running. CJ said, "Dang, Steven is really missing out." I know I got to message Steven so he can come back and I know he's taking a break right now. Um, Yeah, it's Solange said you can't make me believe this is random. Yeah, exactly. So the thing with my algo right here, guys, is that these prices over here, this shows that prices moved at this exact. So basically between these little times that I have here, this shows that prices moved exactly at these times um, in the past, like pretty much every single day, like every single day for the past 16 trading days. So basically 2, 3 weeks, prices moved at this exact time. It's not the exact price, but it's moved at this exact time. So this shows you that there are institutions and hedge funds and market makers who are trading at this time period. And this is why we try to get in around here because that's usually what's going to cause this movement. Um, so these trades are still running. This gold trade is still running right now. I think Rashida is still in it. It's still in profit. So I mean, this trade could run on for a while. We'll come back and keep following it as price continues to move along. My YM trade is going to come up pretty soon at about at 752. It's going to be with the direction of momentum. So if this continues with the sell signal, I'll be getting in for a sell for YM right here. Talanji said, can these trades be called out at open or can they change mid-market? Um, sorry, I'm trying to understand that question, Talanji. So are you talking about like this whole list or are you talking about, or I guess you can just break it down for me so I can understand the question a little better. Like, are you asking if I can like make the list by open or do they change like after open? That's what I'm trying to. They change once price passes. So for example, right here, see how we had the 6 o'clock trade? This will change because it's going to factor in the trade that happened at 6 o'clock, right? I posted this last night at 10 p.m. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, if it had a 68.75% win ratio, if this trade won, then the win ratio goes up. So it's no longer at 68, it's now like at 70% win ratio. If the trade lost, it's going to drop down to like 65% win ratio, right? So it changes whenever it passes to a new day, like when it makes a full 24 hours or once it passes the actual entry. Does that make sense, Talanji? So basically every minute is changing. So if you have an entry, like for example, right now, we're looking at this 752 candle, right? So right now, the number right now is at 75%. But if, once we reach 752 right here, if this trade hits, then this thing will bump up. It'll be like 75. It'll maybe go up to like 77 or something like that. So does that make sense how it changes? That's why for me, I set these trades up where I send these trades out in the Discord. I send this out at 10 p.m. because this is before the trades come up. And then after the trades come up, then they change. That's when they do change. But then the rankings here, they adapt as those prices pass, right? So for example, over here we had a trade at this trade is coming up at 854. If this trade hits or if it loses, it's going to adjust with the ranking. And same with this one over here. This trade that which happened at 6 o'clock, it adapted with the ranking. So if you go back and replay the live session at 6 o'clock, whatever happened with this trade here, the ranking adapts. Because I have the settings set up over here, Talanji, where basically I'm looking for all the entries between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, it's going to adapt to whatever the best entry time, the best win ratio is during that time period. But I can always change it, right? The thing is, I only care about what's happening between 6 and 9 o'clock because that's when we're trading. Um, actually, because we're going up to 8 o'clock, I can actually adjust this even further. I can make it even tighter. So now this is 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Then I update the report and it gives me the best possible entries between 7 and 9 o'clock. Same with gold. I'm going to do that over here. It's going to bump it up by an hour because obviously we want to know what's the best entries at this, specific time. Let's see. So it's Talanji City. Okay, the win probability can change, but the trading direction is no. So the direction is whatever happens before the entry. Talanji. So like basically, you know how at break at open we look at 6:30? That's because the entry's at 6:30. The entry right here is at 7:20, 7:52, right? So with this being the case, we're looking at whatever the momentum is, but the direction doesn't change if that's what you're referring to. So it's either going to be with or against because so see for example here, see how our entry right here at 7:52 is with. So you see how it's a 75% win ratio? What's the opposite of that, right? If you're going to take against, it's going to be a 25% win ratio, right? So you either take the opposite end. That's why it doesn't change. It's like either you're with it or you're against it. Because if you're with it, you're going to be 75. If you're against it, you're going to be 25. So what would you going to take? 75 over the 25, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Everything here has a there's logic behind everything. That's why like you'll see some that are with and you'll see some that are against. Like for gold over here, these are against because if you would have went with it, it would have had the opposite percent of win ratio. Man, this trade's still running. I'm actually really glad we pulled out of this position. Not to say that this isn't going to hit, but yeah, this trade's been running for way too long. This is what I don't like about gold sometimes is that it's not as fast as YM. Well, I mean it's fast, but it's not as, the directionality of it kind of goes into this range for a while. So I'm still looking to get into this YM trade, guys. This is going to be with the direction of momentum, so it's probably going to be a buy here. We're getting closer to it. It's 747 right now. Entry's going to be at 752. So we'll see what happens here. Again, if you guys are just joining in, I took one trade today. It was the gold trade, and these are my profits so far for the day. Nothing too crazy. I moved my stop loss in profit, so I kind of like bagged a bit of profit there. Not as much as it was initially, but I'm kind of glad I did because gold here it's kind of just sitting in this middle area. So this is probably going to hit. It's probably just going to take a while for it to hit though. This trade has been running for 30 minutes now. It's a while. All right. Basically waiting until 7:52. 7:52. Brock, yes. What is the quick scenario? Let me know. I got a few minutes here. I got 4 minutes, so just let me know and I can. Yeah, sure. Type up. Just tell me CP stop loss, asset, time of entry. I can run it through the algo right now. Yeah, just give me whatever asset it is, YM, gold, NQES, whatever you're trading. Tell me what the TP stop loss is, how many points, and then tell me the time of entry. Or if you want me to just run the screener, I can run the screener if you're looking for those parameters. All right, as Barack does that, I'm gonna step away real quick and I'll be right back, guys. Just gonna go grab some water. All right, I'm back. So I was just thinking right now, and I was going downstairs. If you guys are interested and you guys want to help with the development of the screener here, I think what I might do is I might assign, and this is going to be beneficial for you because you're going to master an asset. I think what I'm going to do is I might assign a specific asset to a person. So, for example, if you want to just be focused on YM, I'll give you basically access to this algorithm so that you can put in the numbers yourself. I'll give you an idea of like, what to follow. Like, I'll tell you exactly what settings I put in my process so that you can pull up these numbers. So like, like I mentioned over here, every night, because this takes too much time for me to do it by myself. Like, for example, I'm okay with gold and YM. See all these entries I put up from last night? I'll basically tell you how to identify these entries. So maybe have like one person do gold, one person do YM, one person do NQ, one person do ES, one person do whatever asset, right? Silver, crude oil, whatever you guys want to trade. Um, and then you can like basically in a sense you're going to master that asset because you're going to know exactly when to enter, you're going to know exactly what the win ratios are, you're going to know exactly what the risk reward will be. Um, and it's going to make you basically a master at trading that specific asset. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I will try to get like some sort of like some checklist down to tell because it's hard to my thought process is different, right? For me, I can just think on the fly. I'm like, okay, I got to put this number in, this number in. I need to put some sort of like checklist for you guys to follow, so that you guys are able to produce this type of information. And then you can share it with people or you could use it yourself. I mean, this is gonna give you all the possible opportunities. And the thing is, the cool thing about this is that you'll be able to apply it across the board. So, all right, guys, we have the entry coming up right here for YM. This is going to be an entry at 752. It looks like it's going to be a buy entry. TP stop loss is going to be 40.20. I'm going to be watching it right here. I'll be getting in with a pending order, guys, so I'm not going to get in right away. It's going to be a buy entry. There's a countdown in that. All right, we got 20 seconds left on this right here. Um, Gonna zoom in a little bit. We got about 7 seconds. I'm gonna go and mark this. I'm just gonna get the actual price. Right, the actual price is right here. Not in the position yet. Let me see if I could get this in. What's the price? Price is 47. What is it? 46 or 70. I'm probably gonna try to get in a little lower because it's currently there right now. I'm gonna wait for this real quick. If it comes back up, it might be too late for entry here. Let me see what's the next entry. Because this thing already came down. Let me see. The next one is 3060. Same entry. 3060 at The next one's gonna be at the next minute candle. Okay, so the entry could still happen here, but it's gonna be a little bit lower. Okay, I'm gonna adjust this real quick. Next entry is at 46,462. 46,462 or a buy. All right, so I think,
Order filled.
man, I hate when this number is in the way. I can't see what the number's at. Okay, so let me see. I got into it right here. I'm trying to, the thing with NinjaTrader is like when price is exactly at your entry, it's blocking the label. Let me see if the numbers here are proper. So the target's going to be at 46,522. It's actually a little bit higher. Stop is at 46. Okay, I got to make adjustments here because it's 30. 46,432. And the target is at 46,522. Okay, 60/30 TP stop loss on this one. Oh, you know what I just realized? I got to get out of this position. All right, I got out for a partial profit right there, guys. I just realized that I'm in the wrong direction.
Get filled.
Target filled. So I got out right there. I just pulled out. Sorry, there's too many moving pieces right here. I was like getting screwed around because I just realized that the trade was because it's supposed to be with the direction of momentum. I just got out of it. There's no need for me to risk it right here. The initial position was bullish because of this entry right here, but then I had to make adjustments because of I just never got into this one right here, right? The first one didn't work. It was just it moved too fast. And then for the following ones over here, it was actually it shifted the other way. So I got out for a small profit there. If you guys are still in the position, I would possibly pull out and profit. If you guys are still kind of thinking about it, don't get into the position. There's too many moving pieces here because there was different momentum, and you can see your prices going back and forth. That I didn't want to be in the wrong direction of the trade. So I got out right here for a small profit, guys. I mean a decent profit. I wouldn't say small, but decent. So that was my trade right there. I got out for a partial. I'm gonna put this right here. So this is where it becomes a little bit of a problem when you're getting into the positions because sometimes the volatility is a little too high and you're not able to get in right away, right? So for example, right here, this thing came up, but then my stop loss was so tight that I couldn't even get in with my pending order. So what happened is I waited for the next candle here. I got in right here on this one. But then at this point, the trade was supposed to flip the other way because you're supposed to go with the direction of momentum. And then we have Trump speaking right here at 8 o'clock. So it just made sense to pull out of the position right there. I'll show you guys my profits on this trade. So I'll just screenshot this real quick. Is the gold trade still running? The gold trade's still running, it looks like. Um, anyways, let me just put my profits in over here. Sorry, guys, that was a super, super messy trade. I wasn't really able to make the adjustments here. There's just too much going on. Okay, I'll just put this there right there, and then let me screenshot my profits. Pretty good profits on the day. All right, so this I kind of just got thrown in the fire with this guys because I didn't anticipate the big volatility spikes right there. But anyways, here are my profits. Yeah, doing back tests and doing these like planning forward, it doesn't translate to like actual execution live during live sessions because this thing will happen. You guys saw how fast it was moving. There's no time for me to think. Anyways, here are my profits for the day. So I locked in again another partial on this one because I was on the wrong side of the trade. I got out for about 30 points. So I'm currently up. about 320 on these accounts, 370 on these accounts, 360 on these accounts, 1,100 on these right here. So I mean, I made a pretty decent profit overall. These are all small accounts right here, and these are my bigger accounts. My weekly profit for the week is pretty decent so far. It's not what I'm typically up, but it's still pretty good. So like one, two, three, four, five. We'll say about like 7,000 profit for the week so far. Given that these are a lot of these are partial entries, but decent profit. Can't complain about making profit on this trade. But like I mentioned over here, sometimes the markets can be very volatile like this, where you got to think on your feet. And if you miss the first entry, fine, wait for the next one. Because there's sometimes there's going to be entries like this that follow right after each other, right? If you guys want to keep trading, there's more entries right here at 8 o'clock. We're at 8:54. So if you want to keep trading YM, the next entry for opportunity is going to be a little later, closer to 8:54. And it looks like the gold trade over here might have not worked. It might have stopped out. Yeah. Took a while for it, but ended up pushing the other way. So it was actually a good thing here that I pulled out. That this is probably the most volatility that I've seen, applying this type of because the thing is we're using pending orders, not markets. Um, yeah, I mean, I think today was just it's kind of a bit of a bit of a curveball because I wasn't expecting to only have like a split second to get into the position. Yesterday's position was a lot smoother because we had time to get in. For these over here, these kind of just came up very quickly. So anyways, here are my profits for the day and for the week so far. I'm in profit across all my accounts. Yeah, this is all going to come with experience. I'm just going to have to keep figuring things out and try to figure out ways to execute these trades more efficiently. I like the limit orders, so the limit orders make a big difference and it helps. Yeah, exactly. Talanji said the momentum changed on the 752. Yeah, exactly. And that's what threw me off. Because a lot of times we don't get momentum in between the trades, and the momentum actually shifted right here at 752. And that's why I had to get out of it. Let's see what else we got here. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, so I'll keep you in mind, Chris. Rashida, I did also see your message. Well, once I'm gonna get a checklist down. Basically, I'm gonna put my whole process down in a checklist, and once I have that whole process down, I'll send it to you guys, and I'll give you guys access to this script, so that you guys can pretty much pull this up yourself, and then you guys can run the numbers. Man, crazy dates today with the market. Let's check this out on the regular chart. So I'm looking over here on the regular chart. This is our main chart with all the tools and stuff, identifying trend and whatnot. Market was actually pretty all over the place. Let's see, market opened over here at 6:30. See, the crazy thing is that since we're basing all of our analysis off the data, I'm not really looking at like what's happening here. This was actually a very choppy market for the day. And same with this gold over here, or gold's been a little bit more bullish. So gold was actually very bullish for the day, but YM over here was super choppy. The thing is, I don't really care about the trend as much anymore because we're going for these like momentum moves. But I mean, either way, it looks like, people would have gotten caught in this chop regardless. So it's all good. I'm happy with my profits for the day. Let's see. Question from Sam. Sam said, so Sean, YM trade was supposed to be at the close. Yeah, so the times here are going to be at the close of this candle, Sam. So for example, over here, there's like if it says 752, it's at the close of that candle. So the opening of the next one. That's why for my entry right here, it was the 752 candle, but it was at the close of it. And what happened was my entry was supposed to be right here, but I couldn't get in because price was already down here, right? The volatility just spiked down. So I tried to get in on the next one because we had another opportunity, which was at 753, right? Because then it shifted. And then again, right here, I still got in like pretty late. At this point, I was in the wrong direction, so I had to pull out for a small profit. But Yeah, when the volatility is very high like that, it's tricky because typically it doesn't really spike around like that. I don't know if it's because Trump's speaking or because of the news that's coming up, but this was a taste of a volatile market that I'm not used to because I'm placing limit orders. So, if it's a market order, it's not as hard because you just get into the market. But with the limit order, if you're above it or below it, you're gonna get an error for your trade. Let's see. So Brock is asking. No, you're fine, Brock. Are you here right now? So Brock's question over here was, so this is the criteria that can be run, has a start time, end time, and bias. Depending on what your bias is, Brock, I mean, the catalyst is based off the momentum signal, right? So if you're talking about a trend bias, you can't do a trend bias because it's based off the data. Like for the algo here, we don't care about well, I mean, you might care about it, but for me, I don't care about any of those extra things, right? I don't care about trend. I don't care about support resistance. I don't care about market structure. I don't care about anything really. I just care about the data of price movement. So like basically what the algo does is it identifies where is there volatility in the market, whether momentum pushes up or down. And then the catalyst, or I guess you're considering the bias, is going to be the momentum, but I'm not using any other bias. So there's no filters. This is just raw data. This is raw data based off whatever the bias isn't really even a bias. It's just the direction of the trade. Because we need to have some sort of criteria to identify that. Um, oh wait, I don't think you understand how this is used, Brock. Because so you want all the trades within a time period. This does once a day. So you're not going to be able to do, yeah, you can't do it. I mean, you can only imagine how many momentum signals are here, Brock. You're gonna have like 1,000 entries. So it wouldn't, I mean, that criteria just wouldn't even work, even if you wanted to do that. Because look at how many momentum signals are here. You're gonna have like 100 entries, and then majority of the entries are not even gonna be good because they don't always push that direction, right? The algo here tests it once a day. So it gives a specific time of the day. Does that make sense? Because if you're trying to catch yeah, so it looks like you're trying to get every single momentum signal that comes up between 7 and 9 a.m. That's here, I'll mark it up for you. I'm gonna show you why that doesn't make any sense to even identify that. So I'm just gonna show you the one from today, right? So basically you're looking at like seven, so your time has like eight numbers. So I'm not sure 70, I'm assuming 7:11 in the morning. Here, we'll go to yesterday's market, because we're not at 9 yet, so I can't show you how many momentum signals come up during that time. But yeah, that test that you're running, it's just not gonna you're not gonna get any good value out of that. Like there's no logic behind it because there's too many signals that come up. So let's see, you're saying 7:11 to 9:27 my time. Okay, so let me just show you real quick. So basically what you're looking for is you want to see how momentum moves between this period of time, right? The problem with this here is that you're going to get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, or not even that. It's going to be calculated by the candle, right? So it's not even the momentum. You're basically going to have you're going to have 134 candles that are going to be documented in the test. And the thing is, the direction here is not there's not enough volume. Does that make sense? Because like if you wanted to do a like 2040, and just let me know if this is making sense to you, Brock. So See how you get into like all of these right here? This does it like you're gonna have so many losses. Like the data here is not gonna be good. So if you want to enter trade here, this is gonna be a loss off this candle. This is gonna be a loss. You're gonna have like, 20, 30 losses here, and then you might have like one win. So you're just gonna have very negative risk to reward, or not risk reward. You're gonna have a negative win ratio. Like it's going to be impossible to find something where that's why it's important. Like for me, I have it once a day because if you take an entry at a certain time period, it's just once, it happens once for that day at that time. But if you're catching every single entry here, you're going to have like 20 entries for a loss and you're going to have like maybe one win. So that's going to give you like a 10% win ratio. It's just kind of pointless. Does that make sense, Brock? So I think your criteria it's a little flawed. It has to be a little more specific. Like I think you would have to have it set up like what I'm doing, where it's once a day, or if you have it like there's some sort of catalyst. Like if you're trying supply and demand, like whenever price bounces off this specific supply or this specific demand. Thing is, I don't have a code for that, so I can't set that up with supply and demand. Let me see. Brock said all I'm trying to do is to pick balance from supply and demand, then taking all signals from the algo in that direction of the balance. Yeah, so that's a totally different algo. I'll have to I'll have to um here, you know what? Message me on Discord, Brock, and just give me a little bit more of a breakdown of what you're looking for. Maybe I can kind of code that in. It sounds like what you're looking for is a little more complex because what I'll have to do, so if you're looking for supply and demand bounces, I need to find the logic to identify the exact supply and demand that you're looking for. So you have to be very exact. You can't just say, oh, like it can't be discretionary, right? It has to be very mechanical. Like you have to tell me like, oh, my supply or my demand is like whenever price reaches a new lower low, like it has to happen every single time. It can't be like, oh, this might be a supply, or this might be a supply, or this might be a supply, right? It has to be a very specific supply that only happens once. Because you can't have like, a supply right here, or demand, I mean. And then say, for example, you're like, oh, well, actually the supply is kind of adjusted a little bit. It's now over here. Because in order to have an algo, there can't be any discretion. Right? There can't be any thought process. That's why for my algo over here, there's no thought process. It just gives me the exact time and it gives me the exact direction. Like if I'm trading the momentum, there's no maybes. It's always going to be for sure so that the data is going to be very specific. Yeah, exactly. So it's like what Solange just mentioned. So Solange mentioned algo first, confluence is after. Exactly. The algo is going to give you the raw data. So if you look at my data here, Brock, it's going to tell you, okay, this is where the momentum's happening. And then what you can do, if you want to use my algo to your advantage, what you would do is look for the areas, or here, I'll show you this real quick. This is another cool thing that I identified, and I kind of played around with last last night. So let me just make a copy of this. Because I was thinking about your style of trading, Brock, and this is another thing. I just get these ideas. Like I'm up late night, I'm just getting these ideas. So let me show you real quick. This is another thing that I looked at, which is pretty interesting. So what I did last night is I marked up. So say for example, see we had the entry right here at this long. I just marked up structure here because I was kind of curious if momentum is pushing from these areas, it's going to create levels that are important, right? Because if there's volatility that pushes from these levels, so I just went back basically. This might be a tool that I use in the future that I might develop. But like, so I'm basically marking up the structure. I'm basically marking up momentum. So every time there's a momentum push from a certain area, like I'm just looking at every entry, right? This entry had this 75% win ratio. So again, right here, I'm just marking up pretty much all these candles because this is where we identified where the algos and not the algos, but the hedge funds and the institutions are trading. And I just went back and I was kind of playing around with it. I was like, okay, I'll mark up structure at these areas and I'll kind of see like how this stuff can relate to like market structure. Like if this is where they're trading, then you can basically trade the direction, right? Because for you, Barack, you're looking for supply and demand. This is like supply and demand, but you're basically trading based off whatever these institutions are trading from. You're not trading off support and resistance. You're trading off actual movement, so the data movement. Um, and in the future, if you guys have access to my tools, you guys can do this yourself. I think this was a pretty interesting way of identifying entries here. So I'm basically just going back to every single entry which came up. This had a 75% win ratio. So I'm assuming, okay, this is a good area for to look for trades, right? Like this is pretty crazy because the thing is like, a lot of people they like to call out supply and demand. And there's nothing wrong with like certain ways of identifying supply and demand. But what I'm doing is I'm identifying supply and demand based on like what these institutions are trading at. Because if they're trading at this exact time every single day for the past 2, 3 weeks, then obviously these are important price levels, right? Like why are they trading at these levels? So what I did is basically every entry I just mark up a zone there. And then this is going to make sense in a second. Just let me mark up a couple more zones here. Okay, this is fine. I think this is all we need. And let me show you, it's pretty crazy how accurate these zones are. Like these are just entry points, right? And let me go back to current time. So check this out right here. Look at how perfect price respects these zones. So Brock, you know how you were talking about supply and demand? You get the exact movements here. So the strategy that I was putting together was either you can take the directional move. So for example, see how price bounces off the zone? You get a sell signal. You can enter right there. Stop loss is going to be at this different zone. And you write it down to the next zone right there. It's like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 2. And then, same with like this over here. Price kind of bounces off these areas. See how you get like a buy signal right here? Or wherever you get a buy signal. See, you get a buy signal like right here. You can take this, and here's another way. This isn't the only way of doing it. See how this is such a huge move right there? This is because this is where they were trading like previous day. But here's an even cooler thing. Like this is something that I looked at and I was like, this is such a crazy strategy that I think I might be looking to apply in the future. So here's one other thing. So see how price broke the structure right here? What I look for next is I was looking for the next. So like see how price broke the structure? I'm looking for a clean candle outside of the structure. So see how everything here is touching the structure? And this candle right here isn't touching the structure. So for this right here, I would enter my sell. My stop would be like somewhere above the zone here, maybe like this swing high. And then my target would be down at this next level down here. Kind of similar to what happened over here. And this is just some crazy ideas that I have in my mind about like possible entry. So again, right here, same thing. See how price broke the structure right here? The first clean candle that wasn't touching the structure is going to be this one right here, right? So the entry could be right there for a buy. There's two ways. You could enter here on the momentum or you can enter right here. Your stop is going to be at the structure and your target's going to be 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 up there. I mean, you can go farther out if you want to go for the full. This thing would probably take forever to hit, but eventually it would eventually make it through. But these are just a couple things here to look at. And it's marking up structure based off like wherever the movement happened from the previous day. So again, right here, for example, price broke the structure. This red candle right here is a clean candle, right? It's not touching the structure right here. This one's touching it. Or what you might want to look for is a retest of the structure. You might want to look for the retest. You might just want to look for the clean break. Clean break right there. Stop would be above the structure right here. Probably at the whole number 40. And you can go for a 1 to 2. So a lot of cool things in the work here. This algo is opening up a lot of opportunities for different things that we can apply. Like for me, I'm basing it like the algo is going to be the foundation, right? We have the algo here, which is the foundation. So I know exactly where the entries are going to happen, and then I can base strategies off the algo. So the algo is like, okay, look for entries at 751. Okay, if I'm gonna look for entries at 751, where do I want to trade? Right? Do I want to trade for a buy? Do I want to trade for a sell? Or if I want to look for market structure over here and use this as like there's just so many ways to branch off the algo. The algo by itself is perfectly fine as is, but if you want to look for these specific entries, so again, right here, I'm going to show you one more example before we get off this. Um, So see how price broke structure, it retested, and see how this candle here is a clean and fuck. So price broke structure, retested, and then this candle right here is a clean break past it, right? So again, right here, you enter your buy. Your stop would be right here at the zone, and you basically go for a 1 to 2. Or you can just go zone to zone. So like if you want to do zone to zone trading, you can do that, right? If you just want to go from this zone to this zone, you can put your stop below here and then to the outside of this zone right here. Or if you want to go even higher. There's just a lot of different things like you guys might not see it, but I can see it because I'm like looking at this and I'm like, this is like a very logical strategy here that could be programmed into, you know, an algo, like another algo. Yeah, Barack City, yeah, I do see something similar, but based off supply and demand off the 1 hour, 4 hour, then drill down to entries, max stop loss. Yeah, structured stops, exactly. It's just for that specific thing, Barack, it's gonna take a lot more work to put the code because yours is a little more complex, right? My original algo here is based directly off just the data, but if you want to add tools like supply and demand, you need to have like a structured, basically exact criteria to identify supply or to identify demand. Like like in order to create a supply indicator or supply and demand indicator, you'd have to like say something like, okay, price pushes a certain point, reaches a high point. Okay, now that's a demand. You can't have something where it's like, oh, price pushes to a point and it tests it like certain amount of times, right? Um, that wouldn't work because that's discretionary. One tool that I could maybe use would be my SR indicator because that has a zone. But yeah, this is why like supply and demand is it's hard to accurately create an automation for it because it's too interesting. It's not interesting. I just read Talanji's message. It's too discretionary in a sense. Yeah, it's too discretionary where everybody sees things differently, right? Like one person might see this as a demand, and then another person might see this as a demand, right? And then on top of that, someone will look at this as an order block, right? There's so many different ways to identify. But to make it into an algo, you have to have exact criteria. Like for example, for my support and resistance indicator, and I'll show you guys that this is one of my original algos that I created a long time ago. For my SR indicator V2, in order for me to have these levels here, I would have to like price has to reach this exact area twice. So like if you want to use this as the base for your supply and demand, this could possibly be, a base because I could use this code that I already have and then I can code this into an algorithm where it tells me, okay, whenever there's an area like this, I want to base the strategy to identify whenever bounces happen like this, what's the probability of it hitting, just based off the bounces. Because I think that's kind of what you're looking for, Brock. This is like I'm kind of leading into like what you're looking for there. It's it's see like you're using this, but you also want to use momentum for the bounces, right? So you want to see the double check right here, the double top, and then you're looking for the momentum here, right? I think this is exactly what you're looking for. But then the thing is you're looking at supply and demand, and my support resistance might not be exactly like your supply and demand. So I think we got to work on like getting the exact criteria because this is I'm pretty sure my resistance over here. This is probably not going to be the same as your demand zone. So I'll try to figure out some way to well maybe not now, Brock, because I'm mainly focused on the original algo, but as we yeah, yeah. So see, this is where it gets even more complicated. So like Barack over here as well said, but he gave us the change of character. See, when you make an algo, you have to make it very simple, right? I feel like for you, you have a lot of confluences, which are good. Don't get me wrong. This is why you make profit trading, and this is why you have an edge, right? Because you have a lot of confluences, and you have a lot of filters that you use to identify, okay, this is where I'm going to take a trade, or this is where I'm not going to take a trade to create an algo like what I have here, you have to make it very simple. There has to be like maybe two or three criteria to follow. And then from there you build off that algo. right? So this could be the foundation, and then we can probably include things that you're looking for. But the problem with adding too many things, it's called overfitting. So if you want to look into it, um, if you want to look into it, it's overfitting, and you're just not going to have good criteria. Like, see how my profitability is very high? If you overfit it too much, your profitability is just going to be all over the place. Because like for me, the only criteria that I change here is TP stop loss and time of entry, right? If you want to add more criteria, you could do that. Like you could add supply and demand, you could add that stuff, but then it's gonna be it's gonna be a little complex. Yeah, no worries, Brock. I'm glad that you brought it up because now I have like you're kind of getting my ideas kind of flowing a little more. So in the future, I might even, there might be some adjustments and stuff that I might look at to take. But so here's the entry from the gold guys. If you took the 510, so at 722, let's see. The trade's still technically running right now. So this is 10, or no, this one's not running anymore. Oh no, it technically is. Here, let me clean this up real quick. I think for gold guys, the 510 is probably going to be the best option. I know Sam over here mentioned that the thing that Sam mentioned was that the 100-point move is a big move. This is what we took yesterday. I think for gold, you can't really trade it with a tight TP stop loss, guys. You might have to go for this bigger one because the same entry right here. So see the entry at 722? It would have survived, but you'd have to have an extremely large TP stop loss in a sense. It's line you said my brain. Love this stuff. Nice, nice. Rashida got back into gold. She made 2000. Nice work, Rashida, on the recovery on that one. Rashida said, Sean, this is good. You usually be out at 10:55. I know it's like I can go on forever. Like if you guys want to talk, I'll go talk with me. Like I can go on forever because this thing has opened up a lot of a lot of my ideas. Because initially I used to do all this stuff by hand, right? It would take me forever to do all this stuff by hand. But now that I have this stuff kind of built in, it's crazy because all you do is you plug and play, and then the numbers come up here to give you probabilities. And when you start to base all your entries and your strategies and your analysis off probabilities, it it makes such a crazy difference because like it's different when you're creating your own spreadsheet, right? You're doing a back test. Your data is going to be skewed because you're going to want to see more wins and losses. But this here is realistic. This kind of it shows me that I can't make up a trade or I can't make up a setup because everything here is documented, right? If I go back and I look at gold here, like for example, the trade for today, right? This trade over here lost or it won or whatever maybe. I could have just shrugged this off and be like, oh, I just got unlucky on this trade. But the thing is, the trade here is documented, so I can't go back and be like, oh, that trade I wouldn't have taken that trade. It's like, no, you would have taken the trade because the criteria here is lined up, and the profitability might change a little bit. So here, I'll do this real quick. This was at 87.50. I'm gonna go and just refresh this real quick. The probability should drop a little bit because of loss there on whatever time frame we applied it on. Visual said just to make it simple, flip the coin head, buy tail, sell easy. Yeah, exactly, Visual. Um, that's kind of what we're doing here. So like this is at a point where when you're against or you're with it, you're basically taking a buy or sell on a coin flip. The only thing is that we're trading it with probabilities. So this concept that Visual basically brought up, said make it simple, flip a coin. Head buy, tail sell. That's literally what's happening here, except we're using probabilities to our advantage. So, the trade's never going to be 100%. You can't be guaranteed a trade. But because we have the probabilities there, I can flip a coin, and if it lands a certain way, I can take a buy or sell that way. But if I have the probability that tells me it's probably going to work out, then I'll probably take it. So, yeah, I agree with Visual. The only thing, the outlier is going to be like when there's news or high volatility. Right. I think that's going to be, so let's just change the custom range here. So it was at 87.50. The trade lost today, of course. So this is going to update. It is updating. So it just dropped a little bit. It was at 87.50. It's now at 82.35. So yeah, solid. Anyways, guys, I think this is it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the Discord. We have some profits over here from a couple people. So we got profits here from Ryan. So great work, Ryan here. Ryan locked in about 1,000 for the day. Nice work, Ryan, on that account, just one account. And then we have Lila over here who locked in 1,110. And then of course my profits over here, I locked in about 4,000 for the day, about 7,000 for the week. I got to figure out my copier. My copier is kind of screwed up right now, so it's only copying a few accounts, but those are my profits for the day and the week so far. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Obviously, you guys can see here we have a lot of work to do with this algo. The algo is working great, but I'm going to keep improving it day after day, and it's going to keep learning based on what's happening on the market throughout the day. But all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, pretty great trading day overall. I had to get out of these positions partial because I wasn't fast enough to follow the movement, but I'm glad we still closed out the day in profit. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, hit me up.